On that field, I used to wrestle with my best friends Harry and Kelly. Harry's doing good now. He's city council member. I lost touch with Kelly. This is my home. I grew up here among 750,000 or so other Washingtonians during the 1960s riots and discontent, when 2 or 3 people on a corner were told to move on by the police, when a young activist named Marion Berry was arrested time after time after time for bucking a system that put white Southern congressmen in charge of citizens, denied a mayor, city council, and a host of other dignities. This is Brooklyn. This is home. I went on to earn an MBA from the George Washington University in real estate development and began working in the mortgage field. Let's go behind the scenes and look at the 4 types of real estate transactions: flips, bank properties, development, and vacancies, changing your neighborhood and mine after the mortgage meltdown crisis. One of the 4 ways changing the landscape of our neighborhoods involves investors buying homes for bargain prices and reselling. Our new neighbor, American University professor Brett Williams, bought her home from one of the We Buy Houses type organizations, MAFC Residential, in February 2011 for $412,268. Another quick look at public records shows MAFC purchased the home less than 6 months earlier from longtime residents for $129,186. Here's the anatomy of a flip. Buy low, sell high, make your money going in. Let's meet our neighbors, Brett Williams and Michelle Rucker.
We're neighbors over the fence.
I'm trying to remember the first time, but like,
right,
I've always known
like
you.
it had always been. Yeah, when she moved into the neighborhood, she came home. And it felt like she was home.
Oh,
so I can't really remember. We met over the fence, though. We're the fence neighbors. We talk over the fence.
I saw a young lady come in, I think, to use a computer.
Oh, that was my niece, yeah.
So people are doing resumes because everybody's looking for work right now.
Yeah, I need to.
Anytime.
What can you say about that? Your name again?
Michelle.
Michelle, what can you say, Michelle, about the changes in Brooklyn? Over the past, since 2008, since the foreclosure crisis.
Okay, I like the change. You know, I like the variety of neighbors that are coming back into the neighborhood. It kind of hurt to see the black families move out. That kind of hurt. But we're getting good neighbors back. And what hurts me is the speculators. The ones that come in are only here long enough to get equity and then put the home back up out the market. That I don't like. That I don't like. Yeah.
And Brett, you said you've been waiting
30 years maybe, but since the 80s, because I used to live on Perry Place in a little rental over by Turkey Thicket. And I loved Brooklyn, but you know, nobody ever left. You could never get in here. Did you ever meet the guy who bought this house? I think he was a real speculator. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It was just a company in Virginia.
I figured that because she walked a very good.
And can you tell me about DC in the 60s?
Well, for me, it was very special because growing up, I was probably one of those first groups that really had the full enjoyment of playing on full recreation fields. Even though, you know, the segregation had ended in DC, we were a city that had some unwritten rules, and so we used to have to practice on parkland for football up at Barnes Hill, up on Eastern Avenue. And then finally, we were able to come practice at Taft because a lot of our rec fields, people don't realize, were segregated. Segregated officially and then unofficially, where they weren't permitted for certain things. And so, you know, growing up in the 60s, especially for us, I can remember the shadows of the riots, seeing what the riots meant, seeing the smoke from our houses, understanding what happened, understanding once I went back to 8th Street, the street that I used to walk to with my grandmother shopping from over in Trinidad, Ivy City, and how that decimated our shopping districts and the revitalized services. that we were accustomed to as a community. So it was really an era of change and turmoil, and what we had to really learn to understand that DC was coming together. This foreclosure thing was very serious for the residents of Ward 5. This was one of the things that really was taking us out and not giving us opportunities and making us prey of these unethical real estate deals to take people's homes and make money off of people's sweat equity because we didn't understand it. We have to figure out creative ways to make sure that the residents are not penalized for the growth of our community. That's always been my mission. That's why I've met with folks and do that, and I think that's important that we as a community continue to do that, because those who are most affected should have reap the benefits of the rewards of what those projects bring to their community.
There are 6 major development projects in or bordering Brookland. 1, the Colonel Brooks development, proposes introducing 200 units of housing in one city block, right in the backyard, literally, of neighbors Curtis and Mary Knight.
Well, personally, I do not like it because I feel it will completely change our neighborhood from a peaceful, more or less quiet neighborhood to an overactive neighborhood with many people, and basically we feel that project, which is going to be a apartment building, is really going to be a dormitory for the Catholic University students. So, and if that's the case, one way or the other, it's just too much, we feel, in back of our homes, and we are like 200 footers from the project. That's how they refer to us, 200 footers.
The Knights have an ally in Area Neighborhood Commissioner Carolyn Steptoe, a vocal opponent of the proposed development.
Most of the housing here in the city, in this neighborhood, are single-family detached homes. We don't really have many apartment buildings, and if we do, none of them exceeds 3 stories, and they certainly don't have more than 25 units in them. And that's what a low-density neighborhood is. What the Colonel Brooks development is asking for is a 7-story building on a very small parcel of land that is looking to have at least 220 apartment units.
Everyone wants to avoid the 4th, vacant properties held by banks unable or unwilling to sell at or near market value.
Whatever happened to Kelly Green?
Kelly Green, I don't know. I see them in the neighborhood, but you know, people around, and so I really couldn't give you a good background. I haven't seen Kelly.